What are you seeing here in this sixth round? They're starting to pick up the activity now.
Well, yeah, they're starting to pick it up now, and you know, it's back to battle of the wills. Back to battle of the wills.
Both fighters.
Good competitive shootout right now.
All winning on rounds, but it's the overall, the feel. You get the feel that it's fairly close. Is that the way you looked at it?
It is close. You know, it could, you know, at any point it can go either way.
Mm-hmm. But in boxing, if it goes to the cards, it's based on the round. So,
right.
And you certainly have given Paul the edge to this point.
Yeah, I think Paul has an edge. This guy can't go to sleep on.
Oh, Paul just got hit.
This guy's setting him up. Paul got to be careful coming in there. This guy ain't, you know, been around the block a few times.
Eyes wider on Chris Gray right now.
He's starting to gain a little confidence. You can see it in his eyes.
Oh, again, charging forward, Gray. They might have collided heads again, and that's the end of the round.
You know, both of these guys took some really good shots, and saying a lot for their determination and their will. Just like I said earlier, you know, their confidence level is high, so it's going to be hard. You know, it's going to be a good, entertaining fight. It's going to be hard for either one of them to lose.
Who would you give that round to, Chris Gray?
I would say if I could get away with it, even.
Come on now. we can go even. I mean, that happens in boxing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We can go even.
So that would
that's a draw.
So that still gives Paul about a 3-point edge right now, even though there's not a. Maybe it doesn't seem like he's 3 points better than Gray. It's just in rounds.
Well, one thing about Gray, he seems kind of one-dimensional. It seems like Paul can be more effective by changing his game. Sometimes box, sometimes move, sometimes be there and don't be there. It seems like Chris Gray is just going to be there.
Didn't look like Chris Gray took a stool in there. What's your philosophy on fighters standing in the corner?
You know, it depends. Some fighters, you know, sometimes they stand because there's a problem in their back. You know what I mean? Getting up. But and some fighters are just comfortable with that. You know, it depends. You know, boxing is 90% mental. Whatever works. You know, I mean, it won't take that much of an effect on them, especially if it makes the fighter feel comfortable. It's good for them.
It's interesting.
But it's always good to sit down and get as much rest as you can. Normally, I give my fighters a little lift right before they, you know, to take the strain off their legs when they stand up. But that's a lot of reason why the fighter would like to stand up, because you know, you want to use every ounce of your strength in that ring.
What do you see in here early on in this 7th round?
Well, you know, I can see they starting to get a little fatigued. Conditioning is going to play an important factor here. It's back to battle of the wills. This look like a very evenly matched fight.
Paul was caught coming in.
He didn't see that one coming either. See, this Chris guy, he's setting him up from certain angles.
And
okay, what happened here? I didn't see this one.
Yeah, I'm not sure, unless they called a low blow from Paul and giving Chris some time. Must have been what it was, because William Clancy was looking at Chris Gray the whole time. What are you seeing from Paul? Is he look a little uneasy right now?
It looked like he was a little dazed from what just happened. And that's what now is time for the finesse. You can't be banging during this time. Let him clear his head up a little bit and get back to action. He should get back into his finesse and his movement.
Xavier, I'm starting to have flashbacks to Chris Gray and Gerald Jordan, because where Chris Gray got going, Paul catches him. stiff jab then afterwards. But where in that Gerald Jordan fight, Chris Gray got it done on the counter, and it looks like he's gotten some opportunities on the counter here tonight.
He looks like a good counter puncher. That's what I was noticing. He was setting shots up. That's why Paul running in like this, it's going to be easy to set him up for the counter. That's why you got to use a little finesse. This guy, you know, catching with them shots he won't see. But Paul's very determined. He's very tough.
Paul is charging in, but gets caught coming in.
Yeah, and it's increasing the force. From Paul's force coming in and Chris throwing the punch.
Opposite directions?
Yeah, and that's what Chris is setting things up for.
Oh, that was low blow. Wow, that looked low. Did it to you?
It looked like it was right on the cup.
Okay.
Right on the cup. On the top.
For future Big Rockout events, visit BigRockout.com. That's the BigRockout.com.
Trunks were high. That
Sports Fans Properties is the premier sports marketing and promotions company that specializes in digital media and event promotion. Sports Fans Properties utilizes an extensive database of sports fans from around the Southeast to promote partner event opportunities, as well as major sporting events. Get in on the action and join at www.sportsfansproperties.com.
Being in shape don't mean you're not gonna feel tired. You may feel tired now, but all the work and the road work and the sparring and the work in the gym, your body's able to work in spite of it. So one thing about being in shape don't mean you're not gonna feel tired. Being in shape means you can work in spite of being tired. And that's what's happening now. They're both tired, but they're in shape.
Well, we've seen in the Big Rockout too, Paul Delgado was knocked down a couple times by Gundrick King, and he still won the fight because he continued to go back to his game. And he was, as you talked about, he was more finesse in that fight and didn't overreact to getting knocked down.
Right. Well, that goes from that comes from experience also. Paul had a good amount of experience.
Gray backing up right into referee William Clancy. Paul finds a home and then gets caught coming in.
Paul utilized the jab more, utilized the movement.
Clean flush right hand, Xavier.
Good right hand.
Fans trying to urge on Paul Delgado as Chris Gray drops his hands. Paul charges him and Gray ducks once again. Gray's hands are down, but another Gray pointing to the headbutt once again. Paul is continuing to move forward, kind of diving in. Rabbit punches in the clinch.
I like the right hand lead. You know, you got to mix it up and keep your opponent thinking. Don't do the same thing over and over again.
Is Paul giving you enough lateral movement?
It's not enough for me. But he's doing enough. He's making the fight entertaining, that's for sure. But I like that goes on with the finesse, the lateral movement, the head movement, the jabs.
The body.
That's what I like. And the body. And I like Paul's body work.
Referee William Clancy with a break, and then Paul, he got caught coming in once again.
Actually, this is a really good main event. It's good, entertaining main event. Competitive. This is the way main events should be. This is good work for both of these fighters. I would suggest they take a little rest after this fight, though. They're getting some real good work.
Paul's been pretty active. This will be in 2010 his 5th fight of the calendar year.
That's the fight itself is what gets the fighter in shape. You train in the gym, you prepare, but you get in shape to get in shape. The fight itself is what gets you in shape.
Paul having some success. Gray hands down. Paul just charging in, trying to bully Gray into the corner and sticks a punch. Doesn't look like anyone's going to get anything done in the final seconds.
Paul Delgado clearly won this round. clearly Paul Delgado ground.
Good bounce back for Paul, wasn't it?
Yeah, good bounce back. Like I said earlier, determination and the will to win.
Fight fans, as we enter the final rounds, once again, someone is going to be trapped. The new IBF and USBA welterweight champion.
Going into the 9th round, Xavier, on your scorecard, you have Paul winning 5 rounds and 1 even round, and Chris Gray winning 2 rounds. So 3 points ahead, 2 rounds to go. What are you telling in Chris Gray's corner? What are you telling Chris Gray about where he is in terms of the scorecard with a points to this point?
Well, one thing for sure, I'll let him know. I'll keep his confidence up. I'll tell him that he got to work more. I tell him to put more pressure on Paul and catch him coming in, set him up. But I won't get off on telling him how bad he's looking. I want to keep his confidence up. But I will let him know that he has to work a little harder to make it convincing.
Combination from Paul, right, and then a left. Paul looks bigger, I guess more muscular in his fight. He's always been in great shape, but he's really been working the weights, trying to get stronger. He has 4 knockouts in his career and his 24 wins, so power has not always necessarily been his game, but it seems like he wants to continue to be the boxer with some of that finesse you talked about, but get that power going as well.
Yeah, that's what I said earlier. I can see where Paul wants to make a statement. And that's where I'm seeing the absence of the finesse. I think it's going to really satisfy Paul to knock this guy out, you know, due to the fact that that's something that he hasn't done a lot in his career.
So is he trying too hard with the power? And I mean, you obviously have said that you like to see him do more of the finesse, but is it because he's trying to do too much in the power game?
Well, obviously, it'll make it harder this way. I think the finesse, this guy looks like his legs are he's kind of one-dimensional, you know what I mean? And I would have I have my fighter give him more angles and use the jab and box him more and keep him off balance. But at the same time, you know, Paul's determined to make a statement, and actually he's effective at it.
Fans didn't like Chris Gray maybe sticking a punch after the break.
Yeah, sometimes instinct makes you react.
Ooh, Paul might have been stung by Chris Gray's shot and put his shoulder up.
You know what I said earlier, in the beginning and the end of the fight, easiest time for a fighter to go.
We're in the 9th round.
See, one thing about it, when you mentioned something about him losing weight, see, one thing, well, that's another reason why it's easier to stop a fight in the last round, because you sweat and you lose all your body fluid, and some of the fluid around your brain, it kind of goes away too. So it makes you more vulnerable to a knockout. See, in the beginning, you're vulnerable because you're tight. But in the end, you're vulnerable because you lost a lot of fluid.
Is Chris Gray awkward because it looks like he changes directions, like he's stepping back and all of a sudden he's charging you? Is that causing Paul some problems?
He looks pretty awkward, but like I said, he's the type of guy that you don't want to be in front of. He's definitely the one type of guy you don't want to be in front of. You want to move around this guy, quick combinations.
Paul did a nice job.
I think that's a Chris Gray round.
Paul dodged some of those flurries at the end, but with that,
fight fans, if you want to see this great fighting action once again, you can visit www.gofightlive.tv. That's www.gofightlive.tv, as the internet broadcast will be archived and you can go in and visit there. Also, if you do go to the web at georgiafighters.com, as Mr. Jorge Santiago will be writing a report on tonight's fighting action. That's georgiafighters.com and Mr. Jorge Santiago.
Well, I think Paul's that much of a head, you know, that he's going to need a knockout.
Paul Delgado mentioned that he was on CNN recently and featured because of his work with so many people in the community at Delgado Boxing Gym, and not just boxers, but his personal training. Just folks just want to get into shape. Here's our final round of our main event, the Big Rockout 4. Vince Ferrara, Xavier Biggs, Paul Delgado, Chris Gray on the line, the IBF USBA Southern Regional Welterweight title here in Atlanta at the Georgia World Congress Center. So glad you joined us here on GoFightLive.tv. A lot on the line here. Both fighters aggressive to start this 10th and final round in this welterweight fight.
Well, if I was in Chris Gray's corner, I would have told him to go out and just let him hang. Just let him just storm. Because that's the only chance he got right now. I think Paul got too much of an edge. So you got to take him out of there.
Is Gray trying to, in this bout, is he trying to bait Paul in by dropping his hands?
There's no doubt. He's a counter puncher, trying to set him up. But I always tell my fighters, don't wait for the shot, make it. You can touch him with the jab and make him fall into the shot.
Boy, they have come together with the body a lot. Both fighters coming forward at the same time. Chris Gray again trying to bait Paul. Paul staying at home though. Is Paul doing, a fighter that's ahead on the points, is he doing what he's supposed to do in this 10th and final round?
He's keeping the lead. Chris Gray is not doing enough. So Paul's comfortable doing what he's doing right now. He's keeping the lead.
Good 1-2 from Chris Gray. Paul charging in. We haven't seen either fighter really get caught up against the ropes and taken advantage of then. Both these fighters stay in the middle of the ring as Paul gets caught and then shrugs it off.
Yeah, both of these fighters in pretty good shape. But Chris Gray, he needs to move them hands. If he wanted any chance of victory, he needs to get busy with his hands.
Chris?
Yes.
Chris Gray with an overhand and following it up with an uppercut, but really didn't seem to do much damage to Paul, who's hanging in there, taking some shots, but continuing for the most part to stay in his game and keep his hands up. Gray might have been blocked by Delgado.
Yeah, that was a good block.
Nice inside shots by Paul. Oh, Paul got caught coming in with an uppercut. Pawing at that left eye now.
He shook that one off.
Get into the final minute here of this 10th and final round of our main event here at the Big Rockout 4. Final 10 seconds of our main event. IBF USBA belt on the line. Who wants it? Chris Gray. Will he connect with a final floor? He won't get it in. Paul Delgado puts his hands up. Chris Gray puts his hands up in the corner. And we are going to go to the scorecards. You're going to give that 10th round to?
I'm going to give that 10th round to Paul. I think he has a slight edge on that one. I'm going to give the fight to Paul. I think Paul won the fight.
All right, you have Paul.
Ladies and gentlemen, have you had a great time here tonight at the Big Rockout 4?
8th and 10th. That's 6 of those rounds. You have Chris Gray winning the 3rd, 7th, and 9th. That's 3 and an even one. So a 3-point edge. That's enough to where in the scorecards, there shouldn't be enough deviation from that, right?
No doubt. Paul got it.
Don't forget to meet us at the Havana Club for the after party tonight. You can party with fighters and fans alike at the Havana Club, where your admission is free with your Big Rockout ticket.
This is what gets a fighter in shape, this kind of work. Like I said, in the gym, preparation in the gym is getting in shape to get in shape.
The Big Rockout would like to thank each and every fan for coming out tonight for the Big Rockout 4. For future events and upcoming days, please visit www.thebigrockout.com.
Move tonight. It was a championship fight. It was a 10-rounder. When you fight 10 rounds, that's when your ranking goes up. You have to fight 10 rounds. So Paul's ranking would definitely go up in this fight, especially him winning the title. So this was a good move for Paul.
Xavier, Bad Pads, Biggs, analyst for our main event here tonight. Vince Ferrara here at the Big Rockout 4. Really appreciate you joining us here on GoFightLive.tv. I'm not cutting you loose just yet.
Oh, okay.
We still got to wrap this bad boy up.
Okay.
Just resetting to everyone, and be sure to tell your friends they can go back and watch the archive of all of our fights tonight. You've seen it, Xavier. You've been a part of the big Rockout each time, bigger and better, representing Atlanta in a great way. Greg Barkoff and Sports Fan Properties.
Well, actually, I'm talking to Greg. Like the last time we brought in Virgil Hill, my brother, and Evander, and Henry Tillman. So we're talking about putting the greatest boxing promotion in history together as the reunion of the greatest boxing team in Olympic history, the '84 Olympic team. And me and Greg been talking about it, working on it, and hopefully we're gonna pull it off.
How big would bringing a fight to Atlanta like Devin Alexander and Tim Bradley for that HBO fight, how big would that be for Atlanta if that is able to come to ATL?
That would be great. That'll be Atlanta be working towards being a fight town. Yeah. We're gonna make this. Just like Greg was telling me earlier, he said he want to help make this a real fight town, and he's doing, doing a good job at it. And he told me that they talked to him about it. Yeah. Some people, some promoters talking about bringing that fight, so that'd be a good move for Atlanta.
It's amazing that fight is set for January 29th, and they don't have a home for it. Have you heard of anything of that level of fight not having a venue yet?
Well, yeah, they sometimes it's like that. It depends on the promotion and what's going on behind the scenes. But it'd be a great thing to bring it to Atlanta, though. Atlanta needs it.
Yeah.
It'd be good. It'd be good, to top it off after something like this.
The groundwork has been set by the Big Rockout in the boxing series to show that these kind of events. I mean, look at the number of people in here, Xavier. They could see 2,800 plus, and there's a lot of filled seats here tonight.
Yeah, this is a good venue.
All right, let's go to the ring for the official announcement as we go to the scorecards. Adam Gibbs with the announcement of our winner tonight.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's once again give both fighters a big round of applause. As we go to the judges' scorecards, Judge Troy Stamey scores about 97-93. Judge Richard Sales scores about 95-95. And Judge Nola Oliver scores about 97-93. Ladies and gentlemen, the new IBF and USBA welterweight champion from Atlanta, Georgia, Paul the Truth Delgado. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll catch a word with Paul Delgado. He come out and rocked it out tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, the World Congress Center in Atlanta, Georgia, we crowning a new IBF and USBA welterweight champion. Paul, tell us how it feels to win that title here in your hometown of Atlanta, Georgia.
It's a sweet feeling. Nothing better than being at home in your backyard. I've always said, in my backyard, I was going to play hard, play till I win, and we're going to win. We're going all the way to the top.
Chris was a very, very tough opponent. It was all 10 rounds. Tell us a little bit about did the fight go exactly how you thought it would?
Well, I thought he was going to be a little bit more aggressive and force the issue a little bit more, but he was a better boxer than I expected. We definitely felt like we were stronger. We wanted to bang a little bit more on the inside, but he really didn't want to work too much on the inside, so he made it kind of difficult, and he was crafty on the outside. He knew distance very well, kept his head moving, and he was able to pull back just enough time. I just came up short in a couple big right hands, but great fight. That's the kind of work we needed to get ready for the next step.
Tell us what the next step will be for you, Paul.
I think this is a regional. I think we're going to do the national next. Why not? Right here. Atlanta, ready? Let's do it.
Got anybody you'd like to thank?
Oh, bunch of people. Thank God, first of all. And, of course, Greg Barkoff's Unlimited Sports Fan Properties puts on a heck of an event. My team, all of you guys, number one, the best team in the world right here. All the sparring partners, my son, everybody. I got to thank BP, of course, BP, Russ Scarmello right there. Thank you very much. It couldn't happen without you guys. Laura, thank you very much. Denitra, you guys are the best. Thank you very much. Rich, you're the man. Love you guys. Thanks for coming out.
That's AMBP. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your new champion, the IBF and USBA welterweight champion, Paul the Truth Delgado. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Greg Barkoff with Sports Fan Properties. Greg.
Everyone, thank you very much for coming this evening. You saw some great boxing. Paul, congratulations. Congratulations. Chris was a good, tough opponent. You took care of business. Congratulations. Congratulations to everybody. Thank you all for coming. Go to thebigrockout.com for more information and drive home safely. Thank you all, our sponsors, too. Thank you.
We're going to send it back to Vince Ferrara with www.gofightlive.tv. Mr. Ferrara has done a fantastic job here this afternoon. Sending it back to Vince.
All right, thank you. Just want to say thanks, everyone, and the Havana Club for the after party tonight. You can go to HavanaClubATL.com. And don't forget, tell all your friends that you can go back and watch the archive of tonight's great event, the Big Rockout 4. Go to GoFightLive.tv and watch the archive of tonight's event. Again, thank you so much for watching online and everyone here at the Georgia World Congress Center. For Greg Barkoff, the champ, Paul Delgado, and everyone here at Sports Fan Properties, I'm Vince Ferrara. Have a great night, everyone. Thanks for watching live boxing, the Big Rockout 4. GoFightLive.tv.